Hello and welcome to Some Things Contemplated. I'm your host, Martha Lampshade, and today we're going to contemplate some things. On today's show, we have an interview with Derek Jason, inventor of the Beef-n-ator. What is it? How does it work? Why is it? These are all questions that we may get answered from Derek. We don't have any callers today. Our producer said that was a massive mistake last time, and in fact, a different person, Mothra Nightshade, locked me up in a closet last episode, and that's why it was a little bit different than usual. So please welcome our interview guest, Derek Jason. Hello, Derek.
Hello, Martha. Thank you so much for having me on your program.
So you've invented something called the Beef-n-ator?
The Beef-n-ator, yes. The Beef-n-ator is something I've been passionate about for a long time. Is how can we take this process of slaughter that the consumer is so removed from, and that creates so much waste with this commercial industrial scale farming, and how can we move a slaughterhouse into your own backyard? And I think after decades of research, experimentation, development, we finally have a product that does that very thing.
So it's somewhat of an abattoir.
An abattoir, that's very good, Martha. Thank you. That's exactly right. It is a slaughterhouse for one, or a family.
A slaughter studio apartment?
Yes, it is what the dream of the project always was, just that, a personal, small, streamlined, direct-to-consumer way to take the slaughterhouse service and make it something personal and self-owned.
Now, can I ask you a question here? What is the difference between this Beef-n-ator service that you have and, say, murder?
Well, that's a great question, and a question that has had to be answered as we've finally been able to release our product on the market. Is we have given the everyman, every person, the ability to take a cow, was what we always imagined.
Yeah.
And walk it up a ramp in your very own backyard, enclose it in the slaughter housing, as we call it.
Yes.
And inside it will be immediately processed into chuck, chops, steaks, ribeyes, T-bone, whatever the consumer desires. But when you ask what the difference between our service and murder, it is that murder is done to end a life, and slaughtering in your own backyard sustains your life and the lives of your loved ones and family.
I see. You graciously sent a Beef-n-ator 3000, is it?
The 3000 is the model
Yes.
currently on the market, yes.
You sent a Beef-n-ator 3000 to our studios here so that we may test it out before this interview. And thank you so much for sending it.
Of course.
I did notice it worked so well for slaughtering the cattle that we had here at the studio. We border a pasture. My concern, though, is it seemed eerily similar to the wood chipper that we have on the other side of our studio, which borders a forest. There were small bits of wood in the bottom of the Beef-n-ator 3000, seemingly remaining from a maple or oak log that had been processed previously.
Now that upsets me. That really upsets me. If what you're saying is true, I think someone's playing some kind of horrible joke. I don't mean to get furious on your show, but what someone has done is very cruel and mean-spirited, because I assure you, I am not selling some kind of wood chipper in a cattle slaughterhouse carapace. I'm not cheating customers, and I'm certainly not selling used wood chippers.
Of course.
Or giving. Why would I give you a used wood chipper?
It doesn't make
It
any
doesn't
sense.
make any sense. And now, what would you say the quality of the meat you got out of it was?
The quality of the meat was beautiful. The ground beef we made into hamburgers for a cookout we had at the studio this past weekend. A few people did find splinters, but it was only 2 of the interns, so who cares?
Yes, and in my estimation, seeing as the product worked and gave you some beautiful burgers, which makes me so happy to hear, a balm to my soul. But hearing that you do, in fact, have interns working for you suggests to me that perhaps they were confused over which side was farmland and which side was forest, and attempted to use a beautiful product, brand new, to chip wood, maple or oak, as you said, and attempted to hide their mistake by leading the senior members of staff, such as yourself, to believe that we had sent a used wood chipper, when I assure you, there is perhaps, in the basis of terms, a similarity between a wood chipper and a Beef-n-ator, but a Beef-n-ator is a sophisticated product in ways that a wood chipper would just be unable to replicate.
Absolutely. I did also find the settings dial very useful.
Thank you.
For making different cuts of meat. When you put a cow in, just a whole cow. We made some lovely chipped beef with the Beef-n-ator 3000. We made, well, it wasn't the best for making steaks. Everything was all ground up to process. But
Well, it sounds like you didn't understand the settings.
Oh, so how would you use the different settings to make different cuts of meat other than ground or chipped?
Well, on the Beef-n-ator 3000, the model that's on the market now, you simply go to the settings dial. You go to you turn it with your hand, your fingers, to where it says steak, and then you pull the knob out, and you'll twist it, and you'll hear clicks, and for each product, there's a different number of clicks. So if you wanted, say, a dozen beautiful steaks,
yes,
you would click that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you pull it out again and push it all the way back in, and that locks in 12 steaks. And you can do this for multiple cuts. For example, if you wanted the rest to be just chuck, you would go to the chuck dial. You would pull it out. You would twist it until it doesn't twist anymore, and you have reached maximum chuck.
Now, when we tried to set it to maximum chuck, a bearded man in action jeans leaped out of the Beef-n-ator 3000 and just drop-kicked all of our interns. So it does seem like this product has a bit of danger to it.
I'll push right back on that. Maximum chuck has been an issue. He keeps hiding in our product and leaping out. He thinks it's funny. He is not a disgruntled employee. Many people think that.
No, he seemed to resemble a famous actor.
He is the actor Chuck Norris. And
I suspected as much.
We think that the fame has finally gotten to him. He believes every meme about him, and he thinks that he is so powerful he cannot be stopped. But Chuck, I will tell you now, maximum or not, this will end, and I will not allow you to continue to disrupt our consumers' beef experience. This was a product that was supposed to bring the world together. Let every man be butcher. Let every man be his own slaughterhouse.
Now, what do you say to critics who think you are encouraging toxic masculinity by telling every man to be butcher?
It feels like not everything's news, you know? I feel like not everything is a systemic problem. Not everything men do to feel powerful and feel strong is bad. And if people hear me say, men, you, each and every one of you could become butcher. And when people want to hear, I'm telling men to man up, to where are your balls? If that is what they think I'm saying to them, I am at a loss for words, because all I want is for brotherhood to once again thrive.
So, this Beef-n-ator 3000, by making men more butch, by including famous action star Maximum Chuck, as he is now known, are you alienating non-men from your market for buying this Beef-n-ator 3000? As a woman, I felt that the "No Girls Allowed" sign on the outside, it made me feel unwelcome to process beef.
Now, this is a common source of confusion, because when I first began my work, I was calling every animal that would be then taken through the Beef-n-ator, the models as we were working on it, I would always call them a cow, because that is what I was raised to believe beef was. When I found out later that beef was cattle, I was like, the men buying our machines have to know that when you want to process an animal, you do not want to process the girl animals. You want to process the men and boys, because girls, believe it or not, is where more comes from. And if you take all the girls and you process them through Beef-n-ators, sooner or later,
it would destroy the dairy industry.
Sooner or later, we will have no milk, no cheese, and eventually no boy or girl cows. And I realize now that some of my words have been wrong. Not wrong, mistakes. And perhaps I should have said, become a butcher, every man. Perhaps I should have said, no girls, cows. Perhaps I should have at one point thought to myself, what if a woman wants to slaughter? And I just simply was so focused on what was right in front of me, and that was a Beef-n-ator, and that was beef-nating. And maybe I should have been thinking her-a-nator, her-a-nation, her-a-nation. Women and girls everywhere can have an abattoirs for becoming abattoiresses. And I want every young man and young lady across America to know, you can be butcher, you can be abattoirs, and let no one tell you this is stinky and makes huge noise in your yard, and the smell is unbearable. Let no one say you cannot be a one-person slaughterhouse. And if I failed women, then I just hope that the changes we make for the Beef-n-ator 5000 will prove that I have learned and grown and changed.
That is an absolutely beautiful sentiment, Derek.
Thank you. I'm a feminist. I'm sorry, is this live?
This is live. Yes.
I am a feminist.
Were you going to backtrack if this wasn't live?
No.
Moving into the future of Beef-n-ators, you mentioned there would be a Beef-n-ator 5000. Is there a particular reason you are skipping the 4000?
I'd like to say that, you know, every rose has its thorns.
Famously.
And we realized that while we have and could send the Beef-n-ator 4000 to market, we feel it would be irresponsible not to address some of the issues that came up trying to improve on the 3000. But it felt like a lie to consumers not to let them know, hey, we heard you want more power. We heard you want more speed. We heard you want less mess and less waste. And importantly, we heard you want less smell and less noise. And
Yes.
I'll say the 4000 addressed the first 5 of those issues.
I see.
However, the smell and the noise, we felt were reaching irresponsible levels. And that's why we decided to halt progress so that, people always ask, has science gone too far? And I didn't want to be the one to answer that question. And that's why we skipped straight to the 5000, which answers the question, can science love?
So, the rumors of including a beef dating service in the Beef-n-ator 5000, those are true?
Yes, and I feel like this circles back to the issues that women have been having with me and my company. We have heard your complaint. This feels like it is for men to slaughter their cows. This does not feel like it is for women to slaughter her cows. And we said, what can we do? We can help women. We can help women find cows, find husbands.
This is a revolutionary service in that it's helping women find cows who serve as a matchmaker to find them a husband.
No.
So women don't find cows, find husbands.
Women find cows husbands.
Oh, it's a dating service for cattle.
In many ways, this is the cheapest way to find cattle to process in the Beef-n-ator.
I see. I was mistaken.
You can first use the app to find a cow.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you have acquired a cow, you can help that cow find a husband who at some point will want to come over. 3rd to 5th date is normally considered appropriate. And you and your cow can walk her man up the ramp and into your shiny new Beef-n-ator 5000, quieter and smelling better than ever before, like a lady should. I mean, if she wants.
Are you at all concerned that this is encouraging a higher prevalence in cow serial killers?
No, because once again, the difference between a Beef-n-ator and a murder is love. And
so
life.
They do have to fall in love before going up the ramp.
We have always said beef and love is the best beef. Tender and sweet, sent from heaven above.
That's beautiful.
And okay, sure. People are saying, where are these boy husband cows coming from? And I say, if they're on the app, they understand the risk.
It's in the terms and conditions.
It, in many ways, is.
In many ways. So it's not explicitly laid out in the terms and conditions.
If you know anything about cow culture and the dating culture in cows, This is part of it. And who is raising the boys so naive that they sign up their cows, their boy men cows, to a dating service without thinking, is this like spiders where he is going to get his head bitten off? Because the answer is yes. And if young farmers aren't teaching their young cows to be safe, why is it my fault? This is a problem that boy cows have to solve.
We do need to educate these young boy cows.
And is it my responsibility as a business owner? No. Because as I've said before, I am a feminist and my business is for girls and women and their cows. And I will stand by them.
Well, that is lovely to hear, Derek. I guess I have just a couple more thoughts for you about this Beef-n-ator 3000 and 5000. Have you considered the vegans?
Yes. And at the end of the day, we're never going to agree. At the end of the day, I can say all I want. Hey, so you don't want to eat the thing I makes for people to cook and then eat. Why are you at my house? To tell me you don't like me? Cool. I'm doing things that the big slaughterhouses would never do. I'm setting it up so the blood drains straight into your garden. Your tomatoes are bigger than ever before. You don't want big juicies? I'm setting it up so the bone meal goes right under your squashes. You don't want the biggest pumpkin at the fair? I'm setting it up so that every organ, every eyeball, vein, and tube, everything gets used and made into some sort of arts and craft project in many cases. In many cases, it becomes the stew for a dog. In many cases, it becomes jacket, pants, or shoes. And you're telling me, oh, you're using every part of the elephant and we still don't agree with you?
Have you been using the Beef-n-ator on elephants?
That was a bit of a slip of the tongue. We, of course, do not do experiments on elephants.
So you don't do experiments on elephants?
Of course not.
But if it has worked in theory, then using an elephant is not an experiment.
I'll say this. I will continue to sell to clowns. I will not be held responsible for them leaving things open and running at work. That's not my fault. If your dog walks in, I'm not responsible. I don't know how many times and how many ways I can say this. Don't turn it on and leave it open until you're ready to go.
Now, if the intention isn't to process every kind of animal in the world, why have you made the opening to the Beef-n-ator 3000 large enough to fit a blue whale?
This is a question that has come up ever since it emerged in product design. Everyone said it's too big.
The average cow is much smaller than an elephant and minuscule compared to a whale.
And I know that. But if we're not dreaming big, are we dreaming at all? If we have the power, the blade power to process the world's largest creature, who else will rise to the call? I'll tell you the stories I hear from grateful mayors all across the world. They say, we had a whale wash up on our beach. I thought this is going to ruin tourists this season. This is going to scare children. And then my wife told me, honey, Nance and Phil just got a Beef-n-ator 3000. Mm-hmm. and you should see the mouth on this thing. And you know what? Next 2 weeks, barbecues, fairs, cookouts, potlucks galore, people coming together as a community.
And the smell and noise doesn't drive people away from these beaches?
Some people. Sure, I'll never say that this product appeals to everyone, but the people who matter, families, loved ones, women, children, girls, boys, men, everyone coming together over a big slice, searing steaky meat. When am I supposed to feel wrong for loving community, for loving wanting to bring people together? Am I supposed to feel bad that the noise and sound and smells can be so off-putting that people don't want to eat for days or weeks afterwards? How else are we getting rid of whales is my question. If anyone else has a solution to offer, I'm happy to hear it. But until then, just know I'm hearing from a lot of grateful mayors and a lot of satisfied tourists.
Thank you so much, Derek Jason, for being with us on Some Things Contemplated. We surely have a lot to contemplate on our plates today.
That was very good.
Thank you. I'm a professional. Where can people find this Beef-n-ator 3000 and 5000 for purchase?
The Beef-n-ator 3000 is available right now. Most of the time, you'll find a guy at your garage who can get in touch with me. He probably already has one. In fact, you should see if he wants to sell you his 3000, because the 5000 is coming out in February of 2026. We realize that's not when anyone is barbecuing. However,
Well, Southern Hemisphere.
Australia, New Zealand, get ready for the summer of your life.
The summer of beef.
The summer of beef. And cook with love and with light. And please don't turn it on and open it up until you're ready to go, because the things you have down there, I don't know if you can eat. Australian ladies, Sheila's, throw some beef on the Barbie, because this one's for you girls. Beef-n-ator 5000, February 2026. Beef-n-ator 3000. You can get these almost anywhere you look. Just follow the smell.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, I am Martha Lampshade. This has been Derek Jason. And we will be back again to contemplate some things.